I am a teacher, and over the summer I nanny for a family. They have a 1-year-old, and I have known his parents for about 5 to 6 years. Every weekday morning during the summertime, I arrive at their home, somewhere between 8 and 8:30. On Thursdays, his dad, Ben, has a booth selling flowers at a local farmer's market. This past Thursday, yesterday at the time of this post, I was on my way to nanny. I turned onto the side road that eventually leads to the family's home, and I saw what I thought was Ben, the kid's father. He was driving the opposite direction towards me, in the same black Nissan he normally takes to the market, and it was very clear to me it was him as he passed by going the other direction, presumably headed towards the market. I giggled to myself and wondered if he had left early, since it was only about 8:20 a.m., and he doesn't normally leave until 9 a.m. I had an internal monologue about how funny it would be to tell his wife I had just passed him, and planned on asking if he had to leave early for that day for some reason. I know this man well, have seen him and his car many times, and I was sure it was him. However, when I arrived to their home about 3 to 5 minutes after, I was in shock to see his car there. I was even more in shock when I walked in to find him in the kitchen prepping breakfast with his son. I swear I had just seen him. I told him and his wife about this, and they agreed it was weird, especially considering the rurality of the area and the lack of anyone locally matching Ben's description or their car. This experience begins with me and my now fiancé going to see some local boxing fights about an hour away in the town over from where we live. We get there, the event finishes up, and then it's nighttime when we're leaving, about 9:30 p.m. As usual, there was a lot of traffic, and we got caught up on a detour through a part of the town that we weren't familiar with, but luckily ended up in the area we were familiar with. As I mentioned before, this town is an hour away from ours, and has a lot more stores and things to do than our rural town, so we visit quite often. When we left, we made sure to stop and fill up our gas tank, and headed out on the freeway back home. This is where things start happening that neither one of us can explain. So we were driving for about 15 minutes, and all was well, until our music turns off on the radio. We didn't think much of it because the radio was not the best, so we continued driving as normal, but we both are just kind of quiet. Out of nowhere, I start noticing that it seems like we're driving on the same piece of road over and over. This is weird because we know the road and the surrounding areas like the back of our hand, so we know when there's turns coming up and exits passing by. There were also no other cars driving by, which is unusual since it's a freeway and it's always quite busy. At the same time, I start to notice that the gas meter is dropping super fast. While watching, it's just dropping quarter tank by quarter tank, until the gas light came on 5 minutes in and the gas tank was empty. Time is also going by super fast, which was worrying to me as well. Based on the clock, it's been almost an hour since we hit the freeway, but we both stayed quiet. Finally, the radio comes back on and we're able to see the lights from the gas station that's placed right between two towns. As I start to put the gas, it was still empty, no cars in sight, and I was getting this really eerie feeling that something didn't seem right. So we finish up and I tell her we need to get home fast because it felt scary. We finally made it, but the weird thing was that it was 12:30 a.m. when we got home, and we hit the freeway at 10 p.m. So it took us 2.5 hours to get home on a usual, sometimes 45-minute drive. To this day, we can't explain what happened, and I later found out that she noticed all the weird stuff happening but that we both wanted to stay quiet so we didn't scare each other. On Wednesday of this week, I was outside around 7:30 p.m., watering our plants around the house. On my way out, I set my phone and my drink on the patio table and make my rounds. When all the plants had been watered, I grabbed my phone and drink and sat in my patio chair. I opened my drink and grabbed my phone to browse, but it was dead. I had a small bit of panic over my dead phone that left me feeling guilty. It was too hot to stay out. I grabbed my phone and headed inside. As I bent over to turn off the fan, in my head I thought, why did I just feel panic? This is stupid. I'm going inside to get my charger just to stare at my phone some more. I opened the sliding glass door to see my husband laying on the couch. He saw me holding my phone and drink. I turned around and asked him if he wanted my drink as I had changed my mind. He said maybe and put it in the fridge. I walked to the fridge and sat the can on the shelf, grabbed a kombucha and took a sip. When I turned around, I realized dinner needed to be put away. I walked to the bathroom right next to the kitchen, and I recall not having my phone. I didn't set it down when I was washing my hands. I started organizing the fridge and putting the food away when I thought I should put my phone on the charger, so it's charging as I do this. Then it happened. Wait, where is my phone? In my back pocket? No? Did I put it in the fridge? The search ensued. I looked in every area I had been since entering the house 10 minutes ago. I searched high and low, and when I asked my husband to help, his response was, "Didn't you just have it?" I said yes, and I wouldn't ask you if I wasn't completely dumbfounded. I am good at sounds. If I dropped it, I know what my phone sounds like hitting the ground, and I would have noted that. We searched everywhere. Searched the trash, recycling, fridge, freezer, cabinets, bathroom, and living room. Could the baby have moved it? No, she was sleeping in her crib. I went out to water after she was put to bed. When I say everywhere, like every crevice outside and in and then some. I am losing my mind. It was late and I thought I'd keep looking tomorrow with fresh eyes. Come Thursday, throughout the day, I continued to look and organize every inch of our home. When my husband got home, he looked again and nothing. Friday, same thing. I never left the house. It's now Saturday morning and nothing. My phone has just vanished and I have no idea. It was in my hand. I don't recall setting it down or it not being in my hand. I just can't explain it. This happened over 20 years ago, so the details of which station have been lost to memory. I used to get the train to York, near where I grew up, from Exeter, where I went to university. Sometimes the most direct route was not possible due to the train line being washed away by floods, and I would go via London. On one occasion, even my normal route through London on the tube was disrupted, and I had to take different lines between Paddington, or Waterloo on a really bad day, and King's Cross. This was a very wet and miserable day. At this particular station, I had to change tube lines, and not being familiar with the area, I couldn't work out how to get from where I was on one platform level to the one I wanted, so I decided to exit the station completely, then re-enter, hoping to pick up the signs for where I wanted to go. On exiting the station, I found myself on an empty street. In warm weather, the sky a yellowish-orange color, similar to how I've seen North African cities appear on TV. One or two old cars on the street, but no other person. I remember being the only person climbing the stairs to leave the station, which had been busy. I remember thinking it was a bit odd. I re-entered the station as I intended, found the platform I wanted, got to King's Cross and on my northbound train to York, proceeded out of the station and into the dank, miserable weather that I'd had all morning. I've often thought about that day, and every so often look at a tube map on Google Maps to try to remember which station that this happened at, but I can't remember or work it out. I'm sitting on the couch with both my kids. My husband went into the bathroom that's in our master bedroom about 5 minutes prior. He comes out of the bedroom and walks into the laundry room. The way our floor plan is set up is where I can see into our bedroom from the couch, but I can't see around the corner to the second bedroom or laundry room. After a few minutes, he is still in the laundry room. I get up and go towards my daughter's room to grab her a book. I turn the corner and the laundry room is vacant with the doors closed and the lights off. Weird. I turn my head towards the bedroom and can see the bathroom door shut and the light on. I walk into the bedroom and call for my husband and he answers. He said he's been in the bathroom the entire time and didn't come out at all. I swear to you I watched him walk right out of the bedroom and go towards the laundry room. He searched the whole house. No one else is in the house with us. I was calling my grandmother from my mobile phone on her landline. I was in a place with poor mobile connection. My grandfather, who passed away around 14 years before, answered the phone. It was the same voice, in the same way he used to answer the phone when he was alive. I froze for a moment, then I said, "Oh, sorry, maybe I called the wrong number." Then I hung up. I checked my dialed numbers, but it was the same right number that I've already had saved in my phone. I didn't even type a number to call it. I just picked her name from the contacts and called. Then I recalled her again, just by clicking on her name from the last call, where my dead grandfather answered, and my grandmother answered normally.